India, if you're planning to buy the Galaxy S20 FE or the Fan Edition, well, you get to choose from two options. One is the 4G variant and the other is a more expensive 5G one. And here obviously by looks and by majority of the features, they both remain the same. It's with the core things where the difference happens. And actually the core part, which is the processor, does give the Galaxy S20 FE 5G the upper hand. But then as I said earlier, since there is a price difference, many might be tempted to get the 4G variant. But from my experience, do spend the extra and surely go for the 5G variant of the Galaxy S20 Fan Edition. Now the reason I'm stating this is because the 5G variant Snapdragon chipset will help in the longevity of the phone. The 5G variant does come with the Snapdragon 865 processor and it's still a flagship level processor and its performance is just perfect for heavy as well as light tasks. Now this is the same even with the 4G variant which houses a Exynos 990 chipset, and even with that processor there isn't any performance issues. And usually with day-to-day stuff, even if you put these phones together, you won't notice much of performance difference in the initial stages. But as time passes and when the phones get 2 to 3 months old, well then the Snapdragon advantage becomes more evident. And here I'm not stating about the Exynos variant slowing down drastically, but instead I'm talking about the heat generation difference and also the difference while doing heavy tasks for a longer period of time. And with just this alone, I'll strongly suggest to go for the 5G variant of the Galaxy S20 FE, even if there is approximately 10,000 price difference between both these phones. Now based on the remaining stuff, both these phones external as well as internal stuff is almost same, but then there is another key advantage that you're going to notice with the 5G variant, and that's with the battery. Both the 4G variant and the 5G variant does come equipped with the 4500 mAh battery, and also both these phones does support fast charging as well as wireless charging, and even though the charging speed remains the same for both the variants, the actual battery backup you're going to get is different. And that difference is again an advantage thing for the 5G version of the S20 FE because it does get approximately 45 to around 60-minute extra battery backup based on the way you're going to use the phone. And here these two advantages is all that's evident right now, but that's all that's needed to make the 5G variant the most superior one. And that's the reason I'm strongly stating to get the 5G variant over the 4G version of the S20 FE. Now if you're wondering whether there is any drastic camera advantage with these two variants, well based on day-to-day camera usage, there wasn't a drastic difference, and with the camera we can't actually pick a better one because both does capture great shots and good videos. Now that's more because the camera hardware used in both these phones are the same, and even though there might be an image processing difference, it's not that evident. And here for the spec, well on the back there are 3 cameras and the main sensor is a 12 megapixel wide angle one, then there is a 8 megapixel telephoto camera with 3x optical zoom, and the last camera is a 12 megapixel ultra wide one which has 123 degree field of view. And this camera package in both these variants is actually really good for 2021. And also about the design, well as I said in the beginning, they have the exact same design and it's a neat one which does shine in the build quality department, but then this back portion being plastic is a cost cutting part, and even though it doesn't feel cheap, well it does get a bit dirty over time. But that said, the buttons are still working with great tactile feedback and also the charging port is still working perfectly fine. And about this display, well it's also the same with both these variants, and here the display used is an excellent one whose size is 6.5 inches and it's an AMOLED panel which has full HD resolution, and it also does support 120Hz refresh rate. Now with the scrolling and swiping speed, well I haven't noticed any advantage for the Snapdragon 5G version of the S20 FE, so based on the display experience, there isn't anything to distinguish between the 4G and the 5G variant of this phone. And the same is applicable with the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi connectivity and also with the sensors. Now while talking about sensors, well both phones have an in-display fingerprint scanner, and here both does work well in terms of speed and accuracy. So from all this, well you should get the idea that the 5G variant and the 4G variant of the S20 FE have a lot of similarities, but then the core difference does make the 5G variant the much better option in late 2021. Well maybe in a month's time, the S21 FE will launch, but even then this S20 FE 5G is a very good option, and I feel if you go for it, it will hold like that for almost 2 to 3 years. And here the 5G name advantage is a help for that because maybe in 2 years 5G will become more mainstream, and when that happens, the S20 FE's 5G support is an added bonus for this phone over its 4G counterpart. That's up for this video guys, hope you liked it. If so, a like is much appreciated, and also please don't forget to subscribe to the channel because you won't miss our future contents and it does help our channel a lot. See you again in the next one. Till then, bye.